It's Mr.Avogato. Hello everybody, MrAvogato here, and thank you for joining me for another Outriders video. Today is going to be a build video, and it's going to be for the Technomancer, who is the one I main currently. For this video, we're going to have 3 different skills. We're going to have one that's going to be a skill for safety, one that's going to be the main purpose of the skill, which is going to be guacamole, aka the venom. And then the final skill is going to be our damage, or even just our fun skill, because that one you can mix and match to whatever you'd like. So for the safety skill, we are going to either use cold snap, and that's going to be to lock down the enemies in the frozen status if they get too close and you get a little overwhelmed. Or in this case, we're going to use fixing wave to be able to heal ourselves, and if you're playing with other people, it also heals your allies. Now for the main part of these skills is of course the guac. There is no Guac Shaman without guacamole. In that case, we're using the blighted turret. The cooldown's so fast, and then it's just gonna toxic everything near it, which is the main focus of this build. Our fun damage is gonna be tool of destruction. Specifically, we're going to be using the Gatling gun. To go along with this, the mods that we are going to be using are radical therapy, so it's going to add 15% more damage against enemies afflicted by toxic. We're using fortify, so that the tools of destruction, when pulling out the minigun, it's going to give us a 30,000 armor bonus, which is obviously to hold it down while you have the minigun out. We have bang for your buck, which will make activating tools of destruction double the ammo for the selected tool, so we'll get double the ammo in the minigun, which is amazing. And then the main mod here, just like the blighted turret was the main skill, the main mod for this build is toxic lead, which killing enemies afflicted with toxic will instantly replenish 40% of ammo in your magazine. So as you saw during the intro, I was mowing down a bunch of those little beasts with a light machine gun, and I just kept shooting and I did not have to worry about ammo because they were toxic. Now the funny thing is, a lot of people don't know that actually also affects tools of destruction when you're using your minigun. And then also we'll have adrenaline, and that's our backup to mix with the safety, and that's just because if our health does drop below 30%, our skill cooldown will be reduced and cut in half. To either freeze them if you're using cold snap, or if you need to heal with fixing wave, you can do so. So here's a little preview with tools of destruction of how nasty this build can be. So once again, if you're using cold snap, you can gather everybody up and freeze them. If not, you just throw your bladed turret, pull out the minigun, and just start letting loose on anybody that has that skull, which represents the toxic ability. Every single time that I defeat one of those enemies, you'll see my ammunition go right back up. And you could do this indefinitely as long as you are killing an enemy that is afflicted with toxic. Before your ammo runs out, it will replenish that ammo. And if you need to move a little bit quicker, as you see, I sometimes will hold the blighted turret in my hand, so that way I can get a little bonus in walking there, because you do walk obviously a bit slower when you're holding the minigun, because it's a minigun. But yeah, so I thought this was a really cool build, especially if you're just starting out and you're just looking for something to be able to mow down a bunch of enemies, especially in solo. This works great. It works especially great against the beast, but it also does work against regular enemies that are human alike. And now the reason I didn't add anything for the class specifics, obviously in this case, to get the most out of it, you want to add toxic bonuses, but you can also mix and match. You can add bonuses to freeze, so that way when you hit them with cold snap, they're getting extra, DPS or any debuffs towards them while you're doing so. I like to use this section in Salvation where it says cross the river, not only for accolade farming, but you can also use it just to test out builds. Since there's such a large amount of enemies, you can see how nice and how synergized it works together. So a shout out to anyone that's a completionist. This is a good spot for you. Just throw it on World Tier 1 if you're just testing out a build or going for accolades, and then pump up that World Tier to make sure that your build can also survive in the higher tiers. Because, for example, the reason why I brought the minigun here is at World Tier 15, it takes a lot of bullets to melt even one enemy with the minigun. So, as I said, it's a nice little build for people starting out with Technomancer, or if you just want to mow down a bunch of enemies, you know? So I do hope you enjoyed. If you end up using this build, let me know what variations you mixed with it. Did you go Tech Shaman for this? Did you go a different route entirely? So let me know down below. Let me know how you're enjoying Outriders. They did just do their update recently to help fix stuff for crossplay. So, you know, I'll see you out there, Outrider. Till next time, I'm Mr. Avogato.